Okay, here we go.
Recording in progress.
Okay, this is Eric DeLoach, your residential book author, and we have another show of American authors and others. We have a special guest, and at this time, we're going to allow him to introduce himself.
Hey, y'all. My name is John Adcox. I'm a second-time author. My new book comes out Tuesday, November 30th. It's called Christmas Past, A Ghostly Winter Tale. It's a holiday-themed ghost story. And I'm also the CEO and founder of Gramarye Media. That's a new startup in the film, television, and book publishing space.
Okay. Well, let's start with your book. Tell us about the first book, and then we'll go to the new book that's out.
Sure. Several years ago, my good friend, who later became my wife, but at the time was just my friend, started doing little short stories that we would give to our friends for Christmas. I would write the story, and then she would do these really amazing illustrations, and we'd give them to our friends for the holidays. And later on, I was working with a traditional publisher called The Story Plant. They're a boutique publisher that focuses on literary fiction. And I pitched to the Story Plant doing all those stories as a collection of short stories. So he read them and said, no, you need to take these and expand them because these are novels. So the first one was called Raven Wakes the World, which draws on Inuit mythology from our neighbors to the north. It's all set in Alaska. And I just realized there's kind of a theme in these stories. The first two both deal with women who are going through a period of intense grief, who have an encounter with something a little bit magical. I think these sort of fall into that magic realism genre, and find their way back to healing and faith. The second one, Christmas Past, obviously the title comes from A Christmas Carol with the ghost of Christmas Past, because there's sort of a tradition of holiday ghost stories, but Dickens is the greatest, so I have to give my salute. But this one's also set in London. It's about an American woman who's there studying folklore, but not too long ago she lost her husband, so she's dealing with that intense grief, and she finds herself studying an urban legend that seems to date all the way back to World War II, about a soldier who promised his wife he'd get home to her for Christmas, and keeps appearing, and then disappears at midnight before anybody can get him home. So she starts trying to find the origin of that folktale, and finds out it's a lot more than she suspected, and finds herself getting wrapped up in it.
Wow, that sounds interesting.
It was a joy to write. It really was.
Wow. It's great. So since you're an author, I didn't know that until I kind of looked and saw it. That's great. Tell us.
Yeah, we're brothers of the pen, man.
Huh?
We're brothers of the pen, man.
Yeah, all right. So what I usually do with these authors, and then we'll go into other stuff, is tell us where you were born and where did you grow up?
Well, that's a short, easy question. I was born here in Atlanta.
Okay.
And while I've traveled a lot, I still live here in Atlanta.
Okay.
And it's very likely that I probably always will.
Right.
It's where I belong. I love to travel. I love seeing the world. Love meeting the people. But Atlanta's where I belong.
Okay. It's a beautiful place. I'm just an hour away in Athens, Georgia. So, but let's go here.
We're neighbors. That counts.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So tell us, was there anything from your mother side of the family, father side of the family, of saying or theme that your parents or grandparents left with you that has always been positive and always, been a part of you?
I think that's just my love of books and reading in general. Mom was one of those people that always read to me at night. In fact, when I was in the first grade, I didn't want to learn to read because I was afraid she wouldn't read to me anymore, which, by the way, is true. She doesn't read to me anymore. But that's okay. I can handle it. Um, but that love of story has been with me, and I think story is important on
Right.
ways that we don't always grasp and understand and remember. Um, it's what unites us. It makes us one people. Um, Story is universal. Ursula K.
Right.
Le Guin pointed out there have been societies that never invented the wheel, but there's never been a single society that didn't tell stories because they tell us who we're supposed to be, and they become our mythology. Um, I look at some of the stories that are popular now, and take the Hunger Games, for example. I mean, on the surface, it looks like a pretty ugly story. It's kids killing kids, and that's pretty grim, right? But if you scratch the surface just a little bit, it's a lovely story. And the reason for that is, if you're in the third grade and you're playing dodgeball with bullies, then you come home and turn on the TV and you got school shootings and climate change. That's what the world looks like to you. What the Hunger Games says is that you're empowered to change it. So you've got this generation of kids that are growing up, and they've grown up in this whole steady diet of Marvel movies and Harry Potter and Hunger Games that tells them when you perceive danger and the adult establishment doesn't seem to be stepping up to take care of you, you can band together with your friends and go out there and make a meaningful change. And you've got the kids in Parkland where they had the school shooting, and those kids have been traveling around the country. And wherever they've gone, voting participation among young people has really skyrocketed. So they're making a meaningful difference. And I think a large part of it is because they've absorbed this culture of story. They've made it their mythology and they've started to live it. And I think that's the responsibility and the opportunity that you and I have as storytellers.
Wow. That's a great way to look at it. Seeing stories are very important, and they get a message across and inspire people to greatness, or to just being finding themselves.
Exactly
It's
so.
really,
Yeah.
yeah. So tell us, okay, so tell us about your business. That sounds interesting as well. I mean, well, the books are a business as well, but let's say this other business.
Yeah, my day job.
Yeah.
We had this wacky idea that we could be sort of an Uber to Hollywood's checker cab.
Okay.
So we're looking to be a disruptor.
Okay.
We have a methodology for mitigating the risk of original stories that have the potential to become a blockbuster cross media franchise. Think Star Wars, Black Panther, Harry Potter. Um, Something that appeals to all of us across every kind of socioeconomic denominator you can think of. Um, and then we can produce at less than half the cost of Hollywood. And then finally, we'll control global distribution around the world. It's called Gramarye Media. By the way, Gramarye is an old word that means magic or secret knowledge. It also was a word for which the URL was available. That's important too. Um, but yeah, we cover book publishing, movies and television. We'll be building our own studio down the south side on a couple hundred acres, and even games, because it's all how is the audience most likely to respond to the story. We're looking for the type of stories that inspire communities. I mean, it's no secret communities form around stories. If you've ever been to Dragon Con here in Atlanta, you know what I'm talking about. And when they do, those stories are worth billions. And to a large degree, that's what we built our business around. You heard about Moneyball with baseball, which is all about the data. But it's not just the data. It's about finding assets that are undervalued and building your business around those. So for us, it's the author, the original content creator. It's kind of the low man on the totem pole in the traditional Hollywood studio system, and the fan community. And when you start a business, one question you need to ask yourself is, who do you care about? And that's the answer we came up with. It's a long answer to a short question.
Well, that is great.
I can
And
go
so
into
like
a whole lot.
the story is always there with you. You're very much that's paramount and it's very important. Now let me ask you this. Do you also deal with cryptocurrency, am I correct?
To a degree. For Gramarye, we are doing an offer of convertible preferred stock. It's just straight stock. It entitles the holder to a 15% dividend and should be tradable on exchanges. And we expect those to increase in value. But usually if an investor invests in a startup, it's 10, 15 years before they can get their money out. So what we did was we represented each share of that convertible preferred stock with a blockchain token. So it's tradable on the exchanges. So it's like doing a stealth initial public offering.
Right.
But it is the good old Reg D, Reg S security that's been regulated for the past 88 years. So it's not a new type of security, but the way we're delivering it is new, and gives the investors liquidity, and it gives us some market.
Right.
So it's not actually a currency because you can't spend it, but it is a stock that you can trade.
Okay. What are your thoughts about cryptocurrency? Just a general cryptocurrency.
I'm for it.
Okay.
And the main reason is because it's by nature international.
Right.
It's something that empowers us to be united. Currency is by definition usually issued by a government and backed by a government, which means you go to a different country, you have to trade your currency, or you can't buy anything. I think ultimately cryptocurrency will be a great uniter, and will do things that bring us all a lot closer together.
Okay. And for people out there that are not familiar with it, so per se, maybe the older crowd than we find ourselves in, or even the younger people, what would you define if somebody came to you, a teenager came to you and say, "Sir, what is cryptocurrency?" What would you tell them?
Go to Wikipedia. That's what I tell them. Seriously, it's not something that I articulate really well. Blockchain is a programming language that is virtually unhackable.
Okay.
And if you do manage to hack it, it's really obvious. Because you think about it as a row of train cars, and you've got a number of things in the first car, and a number of cars in the second car, and it keeps a ledger of how many things are in each car. And if you change one, the number for the whole chain changes, and you can tell exactly where it was broken. So it's very safe. In fact, I think ultimately voting should be on the blockchain.
Okay.
Because we'd have we turn 18, we get issued our voting token that stays with us. It's biometric, it's unhackable, and we'll be able to vote from wherever we are, on our smartphone, the computer at the library, at your office, or at a voting location, whatever. And it's completely secure, and nobody can ever take that away from you.
That's great.
There's a lot of things that eventually I think medical records will be on blockchain.
Okay.
Because again, it's unhackable. Now with a currency, what you're basically doing is creating a scarcity. It's valuable because it's rare.
Okay.
And you can't fake it because it's basically unhackable.
Right.
I think there's some issues that we're still dealing with, like how do we protect somebody's, if you've got your currency in a wallet and somebody hacks your wallet, or if you lose it somehow, how do you get your currency back? But those are all being worked out. Blockchain right now is what the internet was in the 90s. Everybody knew it was going to explode. Not everybody necessarily knew what it was going to become when it grew up. And I think the same is true with blockchain. I still can't tell you how the World Wide Web works. I mean, I know the basics of it, but it's magic to me. The fact that I have a device in my pocket that contains virtually the sum total of all human knowledge.
Okay.
If you're trying to find out a sports score from the 1940s, or what's going on in quantum physics, or what's coming on TV tonight, I can find it in my pocket. A question about history, it's there.
Okay.
It's the great equalizer.
Okay.
Because there's no knowledge I have access to that you don't have access to.
Okay. Go ahead.
Blockchain is going to continue to empower and I think level the playing field.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, you were going.
No, I was going to ask you about how would you what would you consider and how would you describe NFT?
That's even harder. What you're basically doing is taking anything. Like I can do this book cover.
Right.
Do a special edition of my book cover, which I'm
Right.
only holding up to make a point, not to remind people the title.
Right. I like that.
I could make it a collectible.
Right.
Or I could do a signed edition and make it a
Right.
collectible. And because of that blockchain, it's unhackable. It's pure and protected forever. It will never not be a unique and protected item. So artwork, a poem, a signature, anything that is perceived to have value can be protected with a blockchain and made a collectible. I think one aspect that you're going to see it really emerge that you haven't quite yet is in gameplay.
Okay.
A unique item in a game, a magic sword or a suit of armor or a spacesuit or something that's unique to you and whatever properties it has, and you should be able to move it game to game to game to game to game. So, you keep hearing about the emerging metaverse, a place where we can all go and have communities, despite the fact that we're separated geographically, where we all get together. And the coin of the realm there are going to be cryptocurrencies and non-fungible tokens. The non-fungible tokens will be, maybe in this space I've built a virtual bar where we hang out, and it can't be replicated because it's an NFT. And I sell you a sports card there from the World Series, which I bring up a whole lot because I'm a huge Braves fan.
Okay.
I'll probably try to bring up the Braves winning the World Series 2 or 3 more times during this talk.
I'm a Bulldog fan. I have no
choice.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get Ozzy Albies to sign a baseball card. There's one of a kind, and that has the same value as a regular card.
Right.
I can show it to you.
Right.
Let's say you're in France or Uganda or China. I can hand you my card. Or I couldn't do that another way. And you've got Ozzy Albies to somehow do a virtual signature. It becomes blockchain locked. You've got something of value.
You came up with something that was I might think about, and I think that maybe work for your books as well. That was an excellent idea to make a signature on your book.
A signed ebook that way.
Yeah. And put that out there. I think that's an excellent idea. Limited.
It is something we're working on at Gramarye. It's in its infancy right now, and we're a startup. We're not going to be really operating on that level until January, February.
Right.
But it is something we really want to do. We start when we're mining for stories. We're looking for unpublished book manuscripts.
Okay.
That have the potential to become the next Lord of the Rings or Black Panther.
Okay.
And have a lot of those elements like found family.
I might have some. I might know somebody for you. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, you would have to read it and see for yourself. You're silent businessman, but I think I may have. I think one person at least that may be interesting.
Yeah, I'll introduce him to Lou Aronica, who is one of my business partners. He's the publishing guy.
Right.
He was the lead publisher at Bantam Spectra, Berkeley, and Avon.
Okay.
And he acquired 6 consecutive Hugo and Nebula Award winners, and for the nerd in me, launched the Star Wars Extended Universe.
Okay.
Which at the time Star Wars was a dormant property, so Lou started doing these books, and suddenly Star Wars came back into public consciousness.
Wow.
And the movie started getting made again.
Okay.
But that's the guy you'd want to talk to.
Okay. I'll send you link it up some kind of way.
Yeah, you've got my email address, so.
Yeah, definitely. Let me ask you this.
Those of you at home, sorry we're interrupting your regular scheduled program to talk business here.
That's how business goes. I hope people get a chance to know how it goes. From
some of them might have a story
to Atlanta to Athens.
Yeah. Some of you guys out there may have a story too. So if you do, write to Lou, Lou, at Gramarye Media. That's Gramarye, gramaryemedia.com. And if you want to hear more information about Gramarye, that's our URL, GRAMARYEMEDIA.com.
Right.
So stop on by our website and say hello.
Yeah. Well, we'll put all of that, and I'll allow you to phrase it the way you want to, and to put the body of the video.
Oh,
and,
sure.
and
Yes.
they can link in, can have at it. They can have at it and send
Excellent.
material. Yeah. Okay. No problem. Absolutely. Back to this crypto. Well, not cryptocurrency. What do you think about electrical cars?
Electrical cars?
Yeah, with cars with without.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My wife just ordered one.
Okay.
So come December sometime, we'll have our first one. And I'll probably be ordering mine about January, February. So we're making the move to electric.
Are you going to have a? I know somebody told me in my family that they asked somebody if they wanted to have a station in their house, for their personal car. Are you going to do that as well? Maybe?
We are. We haven't ordered it yet.
Right.
Although I have a neighbor who bought a Tesla,
Right.
and they have not bought a charger yet.
Okay.
Now he takes his kids down to Georgia Tech a lot and can charge it there.
Right.
And he's an 8-minute walk from a MARTA station, so he can go and charge it there.
Hey, that might be a good investment.
I think it's a great investment. Yeah. Putting up chargers.
Yeah.
Now, there's a great network around the world. You can go just about anywhere,
Yeah.
but it's just like gas stations. The demand's only going to get higher.
Right.
In fact, I really expect gas stations to slowly start, getting rid of some of their pumps and putting in those electric charging stations.
Right. Well, I'm thinking about also my background is kind of finance, but it's more on the creative side these days. But I mean, what do you think about investing into some of those companies that are creating these vehicles?
It's the future.
Okay.
I mean, we can deny for a while, but ultimately, you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Right.
We do need to transition from fossil fuels.
Right.
We need, a better electric grid for sure.
Right.
But part of what's going to drive that demand too is our transition to electric vehicles. I think you're 100% right.
Right.
And it's a great question.
Right.
I'm just now, I'm 2 or 3 years late to the party. But better late than never, right?
Right. I don't know where the party's at. but let's go here. You're getting me in the right mindset. But let's go. Let's talk about the brains. Let's just have some fun.
Yeah.
So tell me about your beloved brains. I love them as well.
Yeah. One of my very first heroes was Hank Aaron. I grew up during the era of the great home run chase.
Right.
And when our beloved opponent manager Dusty Baker was a Brave. So it's been a while. I've been a long-suffering fan. So I've just now experienced my second World Series championship.
Right.
Which is, it's a long time coming. The sports is designed to break our hearts.
Okay.
You shouldn't care as much as you do, but you can't help it.
Right.
And most teams are going to have their heart broken every year.
Right.
And I'm from Atlanta, so I know that better than anybody. And of course, I'm a Georgia Tech fan, so you in Athens there.
Yeah. Oh, we have our. We'll be seeing what's going to happen this next game coming up. So
I think we know what's going to happen in the Georgia Tech games. There's not a lot of suspense there.
Okay. Well, at least you have your victory. You have your championship with the Braves.
I've got
mine. No one can take that away from you.
And I think the Braves have a chance to be even better next year.
Yeah.
They'll have Ronald Acuna Jr. back, who was one of the great talents of our time, and by all accounts, an absolutely great human being.
Okay.
I mean, there was you had a whole team that really came together and played as a team.
Right.
And the rumor is that those teams, the Braves teams of the '90s that won so many division championships, really weren't all that close.
Okay.
And this was a team where you had players that literally loved each other and said so out loud. You can hear them on the field afterwards saying, "Hey, man, I love you. I love you."
Right.
That's got to make a difference.
Well,
And,
I think
if they bring some of these guys back next year, it's going to be
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And I think also what's special about this that they did it during, coming out of COVID, when we really need a victory, especially, our great state of Georgia. We need that victory. This means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the first time I went out, in a huge crowd, was going to a Braves game.
Right.
I was a little nervous at first. I'm vaccinated, so I was as safe as you could be.
Right.
But that was a kind crowd, a generous crowd. People were taking care of each other. People were looking out for each other, and it really gave me a lot of hope.
Yeah. And they won. So do you have any cards?
Sorry?
Any cards? Any special?
I don't. I ordered a Braves shirt and the golf shirt.
Right.
No, I haven't really kept up with the cards, and I should. But I'm a book guy at heart.
Right.
Now, so
do you think you could order one or two more shirts? I'm just saying that say you keep one for your wife, one for yourself, and maybe a few more, and then you can get those things out as an NFT.
You absolutely could. Now, granted, the Braves need to be doing that because they own the copyright and the trademarks. I'm sorry, trademark, not copyright.
Right.
And I'd love to see the players doing it themselves, brand themselves.
Right.
Especially younger players that aren't making the big bucks yet.
Right.
Protect that brand.
Do you think you might actually do that? Like maybe order a few more? Of course you got to put it on the wall or wherever, and a few more, and just put it out there.
It's the future. That's what's going to happen. Yeah.
Right. Now, when it comes to films, what pulls on your heart? What do you love as films? And we just think about your company, not anybody that I'm talking about. What I'm just personally trying to say, what do you enjoy? That would be connected to, could possibly be connected with your company.
Yeah, I'm kind of a nerd. I like the Star Wars and the Harry Potters, all those Marvel movies. But I also have a great love for anything that really hits you with the feels.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little old fashioned that way. I like a lot of the old movies, Casablanca.
Right.
But I think right now, obviously, I think the mid market movies,
right,
the rom-coms and the mysteries and all that are basically going to go to streaming. They're going to be on Netflix and Hulu and what have you.
Right.
What's going to be in the theaters are the really small, intimate art movies.
Right.
And the big blockbusters.
Okay.
Captain America 4, bringing back Anthony Mackie.
Right.
Those are the ones that are going to bring people to the theaters, where you want the big collective experience of seeing it with all the cheers. I still hope comedies will come back, because comedies are just funnier with an audience.
Okay.
But for Gramarye, we're looking for specifically stuff that's going to be universal.
Okay.
That's going to appeal to old, young, male, female, as diverse an audience as you can possibly get.
Right.
We're looking for elements of found family, elements of wish fulfillment.
Yeah.
And being about something.
Right.
My Hunger Games example from a few minutes ago.
Right.
My stuff, the two novels are about finding faith in a time of grief.
Yeah. I think that second. No, I can't. I mean, the second really hits me. At Christmas, it really put it back out. Can you plug it? I think
you can't really see this on the screen, but it's a beautiful hardcover. I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, I think it would be a great film.
There's a screenplay.
Okay.
That,
do you plan for it to be a film? You plan for it to be a film?
Absolutely.
And
now
run it right
I
through
need
your
to go back and
company.
do another draft of that screenplay.
Yeah, and run it right through your company.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, I think, but that is book as well, is that since it's about Christmas, that's just magical in its own right.
Yeah, it's hard not to love it.
Right.
I mean, the first one's a little bit more Christmas adjacent,
Right.
and this one just kind of leans full into the Christmas.
Yeah.
First one's a bit more universal.
Right.
I mean, it draws on a mythology that's not, Judeo-Christian.
Okay.
With, the indigenous peoples of Alaska and the North,
Okay.
which is amazing mythology, and it really echoes the Christmas story in really surprising ways.
Right.
But this one, straight ghost story Christmas.
Ghost story. You can't. A lot of people into that as well. So, yeah, I would be interested in going to the theater to see that.
You and me, my friend. I'd like to see that too.
Yeah, I think it'd be really, really nice. And I think I'm pulling for it that it becomes a film. Yeah. Okay.
It's it was a joy to write, and there's only the ebook is already out. The hardback's not. The hardback didn't come out till the 30th.
Right.
But there's already I think 5 or 6 reviews on Amazon already, and thank heaven people seem to be liking it.
Another thing that I see, being an author, I need to get into it, but not first book that I wrote. But book like you have, books that you have. What do you call it? Where the people are reading the book, the audiobook. Okay, I've been around. Like my mother, caretaker for my mother, and she was in assisted living a little while, and been around those areas, and that type of book, to where it's being read to that group is I think could be a big thing. And then the imagination that apparently that you have in this second book that I think it would be perfect for like the old folks home community.
Yeah, it will be an audiobook. I've only heard the first chapter so far. And the woman who reads it, whose name I can't remember to save my life, she does an amazing job. And it's I got to tell you, it's really surreal. Because you're hearing something that you've only heard in your head, read by somebody else. And it doesn't sound exactly the way it did in your head. It's different.
Okay.
But she does an amazing job. I'm really in love with it. I can't wait to hear the whole thing. I think it comes out on the 30th as well.
Are you open to? I mean, you could probably set up some kind of way, contact some old folks' homes, and just go and present it, and just maybe read a little bit yourself, and then let the reader, the person that's reading it, read it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing a reading, on the 30th here in the Atlanta area at Eagle Eye Bookshop, which is a great little indie bookstore.
Okay, great.
And I'll be reading it, and my wife will be there to talk about the illustrations. So that'll be an absolute blast. That comes out, and I'd love to. Yeah, it's a great idea. I'm actually going to call my publisher.
I think that'd be great. They love that type of stuff, and those. Well, let me just share with this. I was doing some research because I might be doing one or two, at least one next year coming up. Some documentary movies. And there was one group that I saw that did one on the older people's Olympics, and some kind of way they got the old folks' homes to really champion it, and they made somewhere like $2 million. They sold it to them. They did some conventions. One convention they sold it for. They made like $75,000 one day, and it just really was a huge thing. So that older school, that old folks home market, I think is a big market. Sometimes people overlook.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're great people. I mean, if you ever go to one of those places, the conversations you can have it's amazing.
And they would love that. A book that's been read to them. You read to them, and then also you have the auto book. That's perfect. And those institutions have funds to buy copies and kind of disseminate it to some of the and then sometimes when they hear the book, it's kind of like a song. They hear it makes them feel give them a great day.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah. I mean, for that, the type of
There's
book
so
that
many
you have,
there's so many
absolutely.
underserved audiences out there.
Huh?
There's so many underserved audiences out there
That's right. Well, those guys made $2
that
million, so something's going
deserve
on.
content.
Those guys made $2 million, so something's going on.
Yeah. No, and I mean the book that you have.
The book that you have.
They would love it. They would love
They
that.
would love it. They would love that.
Yeah.
No, seriously, there's a lot of audiences out there that need to hear content in their own voice,
and
they just need somebody to reach out to them.
Yeah, and the younger people, we have to think about it. There's so much craziness for no reason at all going on. So the younger people, they need something like that too, that inspire them that we're going to get past. The country's going to survive. It's the greatest country in the world, and the young people need to be inspired so that they can. During when they get to their time, that they make the country even better. But if they can, like you said initially, stories that are great stories that inspire them to greatness and bring them together and kind of shelter them from some of the negativity.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah,
I think a lot of them is those same young people have stories to tell,
right,
and they need a platform.
Right.
They're not dumb people.
Right.
They've grown up in a hard time.
Right.
They've grown up in a time of division.
Right.
Of pandemic.
Right.
And they're facing challenges that are unprecedented. But they've got the smarts and they've got the heart. What they need is a platform. Somebody to give them a place, say, hey, come here, tell your story.
That's true.
And we'll get it out to the world.
That's true.
Now, that's an opportunity we have at Gramarye.
Definitely.
And I'm really excited about it.
I think it's
I mean, it's what you're doing.
Right.
You're out there finding people
with
a story and putting them in front of the world.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that authors should be celebrated, and you're kind of a double threat, the author and business guy outside of being an author, and you're still catering to the stories and trying to find something that inspires people. So that's really awesome. And then you have this extra new knowledge of cryptocurrency that really you're like years ahead of so many people with that, and I'm sure that you keep people, your circle, informed in that space.
Yeah, I'm working on doing a better job of that, but this is a golden era of disruption.
Okay.
A lot of the old models need to be challenged and maybe need to be reinvented.
Right.
Tesla's proved that. You talked about the electric cars.
Right.
Uber's proved that.
Right.
Airbnb, Amazon.
Right.
There's better ways to do things.
Right.
And for us, the securities gave us the power. To get out there and do something that's frankly very audacious.
Okay.
It's a big vision.
Right.
We're talking about building a studio, having distribution, making movies, publishing books, building games. It's audacious.
Right.
And when you're doing it in a different way, that we think will empower more diverse voices, and maybe turn away from that cycle of so many sequels and remakes, and give some new voices a chance. We wouldn't be able to do that if there weren't new ways to go out and fund it, and new ways to reach out and get it to the people.
That's true. Tell me about Atlanta. Growing up as in Atlanta, and the transition. So many, Atlanta becoming really the premier city almost in America, due to the fact that the film industry is thriving, music is thriving, and even country music. But I'm saying all types of music thriving, and it's actually as looking on as a world beacon, and you grew up in all of this greatness. What do you have to say about your experience of growing up in Atlanta and what it means to you?
Well, it's not a city without challenges by any stretch of the imagination. Um, I think it's the only city on the planet where I could have made Gramarye happen.
Right.
There's a perfect storm of lower cost of business, a
Right.
really diverse and exciting talent pool,
Right.
and the tax credits.
Okay.
That's a really great perfect storm, having all three of those at the same time, and an experience, crew base, actors, musicians, and it's diverse.
Right.
If you go to a meeting of musicians, or writers, or electricians or whatever, you're going to find yourself surrounded with people who don't look just like you.
Right.
And suddenly you're all working together and building something, and that's pretty special.
Right.
Atlanta's got diversity, and you've also got people who really made it big, that are giving back. If you go into Georgia State University downtown, they've got this Center for Creative Media Industries Institute, and people like Ludacris are there teaching, and you walk down the hall and there's Ludacris.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that are learning what he knows,
Right.
and they're going to turn into something completely new. And you know what that is going to look like? What it's going to sound like? Of course not. None of us do. It's all going to be new. But it's a spark, because these people who did something new themselves, that pioneered a sound or a vision or a novel, are out there talking to the next generation. I'm seeing that more in Atlanta than I'm seeing it in other cities around the country. Now, that may well be because I'm looking for it here.
Right.
I haven't looked for it as much, but from what I hear, there's an ecosystem here that's codependent, and people are reaching out. I'm not saying there's not barriers, there's not division here, because that's obviously not true.
Right.
But there's effort,
And
there's progress, and I think that means the world. I mean, just the fact that there's effort.
No, I think so. And I almost forgot. How could I? CNN being such a pioneer. It really, before there was the NS, which I love NSNBC, but CNN was the starter of the international news.
People thought Ted Turner was crazy. I mean, they were right. He is crazy. But he's my kind of crazy. Maybe we'd all be crazy like Ted Turner.
Absolutely. And I mean, so he kept it in the South, in Atlanta, and so then here comes the Fox News, here comes MSNBC that's copying CNN, and then you said old movies. I'm a fan of old movies as well, with Turner classics.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, Atlanta, I don't know what's in the water over there, but you guys are really doing it to the world champions right now. I don't know what's in the.
Well, I mean, you guys got some of that same water up there in Athens. There's a lot of talent there.
Yeah, but it's great. But I'm saying Atlanta is really it's the new premier city. I would say in the world. In the world.
So.
Yeah.
And I think its strength is tax credits, and diversity, and finally opportunity. We've got the Georgia Film Academy here that's doing amazing things with training up a workforce that wants to get into film, television, music, what have you. So there's a door here. And a lot of cities don't have a door.
That's true.
And the other beauty about those doors is you have people that are willing to pull you through or push you through. That have done it, that have walked the walk and talked the talk. They know what they're talking about, and they're out there giving back. There's something really special here, and I'm really proud of it. I myself went to Georgia State, so I'm really proud of what they're doing. But my company was incubated through Georgia Tech, and I'm proud of that. So I felt like I should mention UGA somehow. Well, you guys are about to win a championship, so there you go. There's my UGA mention.
Yeah, you helped us out. I went to Morehouse in Atlanta. So
fantastic school.
Had some fun there. but I'm the oddball in the family because everybody else went to University of Georgia.
Yeah.
So I catch it all the time.
Morehouse is such a rehouse. I think that whole Atlanta University system is greatly underappreciated.
Right. Yeah, I mean
that's a crown jewel for Atlanta.
Right, and I wonder how many universities are in Atlanta. That's another thing. It's a hub of you have I think the model school up there. There's so many universities. So and that means
Georgia State, Georgia Tech, DeKalb, all those community colleges.
Emory,
Kennesaw, yeah, Emory, of course.
Yeah. So tell me about, because I think that growing up in Atlanta, I'm in a mid-sized city, but you grew up in a big city, and I tell people, because I lived in New York for a while as well, that a place like Atlanta, a place like New York or whatever, you see so many possibilities that it creates a creative person because of that.
I think so. I mean, the great thing about New York is, well, one, they got public transportation there.
Right.
Not that I'm jealous or anything.
Right.
But you can't walk 2 blocks.
Right.
Without seeing just about every face of humanity that there is.
Right.
Every color, every shade, every taste.
Right.
Every ethnic background, every nationality, every language.
Right.
That's only a little bit of exaggeration. You can't walk 2 blocks in New York without experiencing the rainbow that's humanity.
Right.
I think we'd all benefit from. I mean, when you're in New York, your neighbors are literally at your elbow.
Right.
And once that starts to happen, you start to realize that these are the people that I'm one with. This is my tribe.
Right.
It's not this arbitrary line here, or that one over there. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
And to keep going back to my one line, we share a common story.
Yes.
We tell it in different voices.
Right.
But the stories we tell are universal.
That's true.
And that's why I write books.
Well, what I found fascinating, Uber one time, and there was a white gentleman who was what was he? He was a stuntman, and from California, and he said, Atlanta's so big, and he said, well, and there's so much land. This is what this guy was telling me. He said there's so much land. Oh my God. So what I think the beautiful thing about Atlanta and in the South, but especially in particular Atlanta as a big city, that it is big. And the culture of driving your car, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, if you want to have a little fun and get on the subway, that's great. But I think the great thing about Atlanta is that you drive your car and you can get around, and it's so vast. And that is the beauty of Atlanta.
Yeah, I wish you could get around it a little bit better without having to have a car, but I do. So I also live 3 blocks from MARTA station.
Okay.
So I get to use my legs a lot more than, which is great. I get to stack all my phone calls, make them while I'm taking a walk.
Okay.
So when I get to my desk, I can work.
Right.
But the more we get out, we're in a car. We're sort of in a bubble.
Okay.
We're isolated from our fellow man.
Okay.
And when you're out in the world, if you don't watch where you're going, you're going to bump into somebody.
Right.
And I think it's great. Atlanta's a great city to do that.
Do you like Piedmont Park?
Love it. Yeah.
And that's where you have diversity as well.
Yeah. Now I actually live on the east side, about halfway between Decatur and Little Five Points.
Okay.
And can't quite walk to Piedmont. Oh, I could.
Well, do you drive there sometime? I
do, yeah.
I come from Athens. If I'm in Atlanta now, I will just drive and park and walk and just go in the park, sit down, and just kind of exhale.
Yeah, it's friendly.
Right.
I mean, you hear reports, but I feel safe.
Right.
I never felt. If my wife said she wanted to go down there at midnight, I might want to have a word.
Yeah.
But if she went at 9,
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, um, you can martyr there.
Yeah.
You can walk there.
Lunchtime.
You can bike.
Lunchtime.
Oh man, yeah.
You know, you and your wife could go there and have a little picnic, and you can have a few business calls and whatever.
There's a dog park there. I take my dog.
Yeah, and then leave, and that's the safe time. There's plenty of police or people to make sure everything's safe there. So the daytime.
Yeah, but you got it made up there in Athens, though.
Yeah,
You got the Globe and the taco stand.
right. Well, we don't have Piedmont Park. We have Bishop Park. That's a little,
But you got
a
downtown
little,
Athens.
a little path. But Piedmont Park is a premier park. Bishop Park is great down here, but
Yeah, it's
Piedmont
great.
Park, I love it because you have the water and you can see the whole city. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and softball games going on.
Yeah, it's a great place.
It really is. It's just humanity. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So-
I have a big book coming out in a couple of years, and I have a bunch of scenes that are written there.
Okay.
It's sort of an epic fantasy, Game of Thrones type of fantasy,
Okay.
but it's all set in modern Atlanta.
Okay.
And I got a big battle scene that happens at Piedmont Park.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. So, and I guess also with your book or and your company, if you see potential clients, maybe they can film over in Piedmont, in different places.
Oh yeah, people are filming down there all the time.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, you could see one of the Avengers movies. You could recognize a lot of Piedmont Park in it.
Right.
It's very photogenic. It's great. I think it's as great a look as Central Park in New York.
Yeah.
And I know my New York brethren out there will fight me on that. But bring it. I'm ready for you. Piedmont's not as big,
Yeah.
but it stacks up.
No, Atlanta's just a beautiful city. It's a modern city, but yet it's a very beautiful city. And
It's
You
not
have
New
to
York.
have-
It never will be. It doesn't need to be. New York is New York. New York's got the New York market covered.
right.
What I like is Atlanta is not New York. It's its own
Right.
identity.
That's what I'm saying with the cars, nice park. You got Linux. You area. You just different things. I got to go to the. I haven't been yet to the aquarium. People are telling me about that.
I'm
What do you
telling you,
think about
that whole that park down there,
Yeah.
the Centennial Olympic Park,
Right.
is absolutely fantastic. There's 3 or 4 museums around there.
Right.
You got the Coca-Cola Museum, the Civil Rights Museum, and the aquarium,
Right.
all right there together.
Yeah.
And I think there's a children's museum there too, but I haven't been to it. Not being a child, but
Okay.
which is no excuse at all.
Yeah.
I should check it out.
Well, all our friends
Especially
in New
Christmas,
York
the way
come
they
down.
decorate that place. It's great.
Yeah. I'm saying all
And,
of our friends from New York and California come and visit Atlanta.
Yeah, but some of y'all go home afterwards.
Okay.
We're about full down here.
Okay.
We'd
Well,
love to have
I
you.
did say visit. I did. The outward is visit. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. They keep coming and then they don't go home. I think Atlanta's got this reputation of being the worst drivers on the planet,
Right.
and I'll tell you why that is. Is that if you go to New York, there's a style of driving,
Right.
and you have to drive like the New Yorkers. If you go to
Okay.
Boston, nobody can drive like the Boston people.
Okay.
Except if you're not from there, just give it up. You're lost.
Okay.
But LA's got a definite style of driving.
Right.
And then they all come here, and
Right.
the New Yorkers drive like New Yorkers. The
Right.
LA people drive like LA people,
Right.
and they don't mix.
Right.
So some of y'all have to go home. We're full.
Right. Well, you have some of the.
Not all of y'all. We still have room for some of you.
Okay.
It's friendly. We got neighborhoods.
Right.
We'd love to have you, but some of y'all got to go home. That's all there is to it. You can come and visit.
Okay.
Or you can go to Athens. There's room up there. Y'all got room to go.
We
You got the
happen to be
tacos. I
we
have a
happen to
love
be
for
the
taco
smallest
stand. It's not
county,
really
by the
natural.
way. We're the
Sorry?
smallest county in the whole state, Clark County. The smallest
know
county in the whole state.
Yeah, I live in DeKalb, which is not. It's pretty big.
Right.
I'm inside the city of Atlanta and DeKalb County, so that's a great mix. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Um, especially when it comes to paying taxes.
Yeah.
But it's a great place to live.
Definitely.
It's sort of the opposite of New York in that, to me, Atlanta is a great place to live, but I wouldn't want to visit here. We need some more tourist attractions.
Okay.
That's something we got to work on.
I think it'll be coming in the next decade.
Oh yeah,
have it. Yeah, but still come back and visit. Yeah.
Yeah, we're coming along.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I can say is tell us again about the book. We're gonna let you put it back out there again. Yes, sir.
Oh, wait a minute. I can do better.
Okay.
Oh, I can't. I was going to do screen sharing, but never mind.
Yeah,
it's called Christmas Past.
Yeah.
Christmas Past, A Ghostly Winter Tale.
Okay.
The hardback comes out November 30th.
Okay.
And if you're in the greater Atlanta metropolitan area, there's a launch party at Eagle Eye Bookshop, November 30th at 7 p.m. But it's available wherever books are sold. In fact, there's TV commercials going on now, which I'm really thrilled about because I've never written a book that had a TV commercial before.
That's great.
It's running on Hulu and places like that.
Right.
So,
Well, there's another person. The last thing I'll say, I don't know who that is. Somebody with some scam call. But
probably me.
somebody that
I'm calling you
scam
on
call.
the line.
Yeah. But you can. Let me get rid of this person, by the way. Yeah. Okay. So that you can actually have, and I think Will Smith did it with his book, but you can actually have a book trailer.
I have one.
You do have
Well,
one.
it's the commercial.
Okay. The commercial.
But it's 30 seconds.
Okay.
And plays like a movie trailer.
Okay.
And it's running on Hulu.
Okay.
It's also on my Facebook page.
Awesome.
Because, I wanted all my friends to see it. Not that I'm bragging or anything. But, I might be bragging a little bit.
Do you think about also your publisher getting it out to different book clubs?
They have a person whose job it is to call book clubs around the country.
Okay.
Yeah. Her name is Liz, and she's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, she's really good.
Well, people, what I want to say to them is definitely you saw the book. Go out and get the book for Christmas, and don't be surprised if next year, the following year, you see the movie coming out. Don't be surprised, and go to the movie too.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I'm going to hit you up when I'm in Athens next time.
Oh, sure.
We'll go to the Globe because I love it too much.
Okay.
Like I said, I have a love for that taco stand there that's not purely natural.
Right. Well, come to
taco stand is y'all's varsity.
Right. Well, take you to Bishop Park. You think you'll love Bishop Park?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of just walk around and just enjoy it. And
I love downtown Athens.
Yeah.
That's one of the most walkable.
Yes.
Friendly, great area, great bars, great restaurants, great bookstores.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One thing I can say is that I really enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoyed it.
Oh, absolutely.
I want people to get the book. And if you have anything, and you know that you have something that you think is great, you need to submit it to them, and they'll review, and they will know. They're professionals. They'll know what's good. But if you do think you have something great, if you don't have something great, don't send it. But if you do have something great, send it, and they'll review it, and you might luck up.
Yeah, the advice I give to people is if you have in your heart the God-given ability to not write, I highly encourage you to embrace that. But there are a lot of people who just don't, and
right.
God bless, we're here.
Right. That was. You should put that down as on the wall or somewhere. That's a great line. I like that. Okay. So just tell us one more time where they can find you, and then I guess we'll be.
Well, I have a website, John Adcox, JohnAdcox.com, and you'll find a link there to Gramarye Media, my company.
Okay.
So Gramarye Media is the company, all one word, GramaryeMedia.com. I've already spelled it. But
Yeah.
we'd love to have you. And drop by the bookstore on the 30th if you can.
Okay. And we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, this was a blast. I didn't know what we were going to talk about ahead of time, and it's so much better that way.
Right.
If we had a plan, we'd be following a script, and now we need to talk about this. We just went around.
I got a couple more shows for you to go on as well. That's not my show, so
It's a blast, man.
that's what I do. Try to get some. I always try to promote pro authors and your information about the cryptocurrency and your company. I mean, I guess you're a triple threat. I thought a double check. No, you're a triple threat.
Yeah, sometime I want to come back on the show and interview you instead. You got the finance background, you're interested in technology, and you're interested in the arts and creativity. That's not your usual combination.
Right.
So I'm going to come back on your show and interview you.
Okay. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be against coming on when you have your show with and get interviewed as well. And so that I always encourage people, somebody like yourself, definitely to have maybe have a YouTube thing just for kicks, fun, and bring people on in different activities that you really enjoyed. I think you would love it.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Okay.
Well, I'll shake your hand, but we're in different cities.
I know. Hey, COVID is still going on.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, so we really. Everybody, I hope that you really learned a lot. Watch the video. If you do have something to offer that they're looking in, and he kind of gave you the message. If you don't say anything. But if you do have something that's valued or valuable, and that may be of interest to them, send it, and definitely go get the book and wait for the movie to come out. And till next time, and hopefully we might actually do that. That might be an interesting. We'll see in the future if he comes back and interview me, and I get a chance to interview him again as well. And it was great. It's great.
Yeah, this was a blast.
Right.
Thanks again.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you have a blessed holiday. You hold on for a second.
Yeah.
They have to go, but you hold on for a second.
Sure.
And so everybody, we enjoy you coming out. Subscribe, watch, like, comment, enjoy yourself, and really learn more about this distinguished guest. Until next time. Yeah. Go ahead. What are you saying?
Have a great holiday.
Have a great holiday, and tell us one more time. November 30th for those that are.
Yeah, it's Christmas Past, A Ghostly Winter Tale.
Right.
John Adcox. The launch party is at Eagle Eye Bookshop in the greater Decatur metropolitan area here in Atlanta. November 30th, 7:00. It's also available at any bookstore or online superstore.
Awesome. Till next time, American Author and Others. We had a distinguished guest, and we'll see you next time. And even if you want to, you can wave bye-bye to him. Yeah. All right. Next time. All right.